I haven't seen sun since I got back home from New York. I don't think I've seen sun.
I know my hair. I'm giving up on my frizzy hair for the moment.
I know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we got a few more minutes.
Let me get my calendar. I don't have it. All right.
We've got 1 minute.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Somehow, okay.
No Ashley today?
Yeah, she should be logging in.
Oh.
Judy, we right before you came on, we said about decorating at the park.
Invalid meeting ID from the
Okay.
invite you sent me yesterday.
When is that, Donna?
Pumpkin roll day. They're starting at
That's why
8
I'm not in the meeting.
Saturday. the
I'm
29th.
Everybody's in.
I know, I'm just letting you know why I'm not
Okay.
in. I'm sure you didn't do anything wrong, but
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. That's what's happening.
Okay.
Try again, Donna. Donna?
Margie, you can tell her about the park decorating.
Yeah, that'll be coming during announcements because we have
Okay.
a quorum going on. Ashley's trying to log in. However, we have been having nothing but problems with our Novus. So, or our things. So
John, he's driving.
Hey there, everybody.
Hi, John.
He's in some kind of a vehicle.
I'm telling you, I just got to San Francisco. I gave
There she
myself
is.
3 hours and it took
Whoa.
me four hours.
No, John.
I just pulled over to park to try to get on the call and I left. It's unbelievable how bad the traffic was.
Wow.
So sorry about that.
I hope you had a rest stop.
No, I'm on some street corner.
Well, that's not what I meant, but okay.
Oh yeah, I hear you. No, I didn't have time. Let's see. It looks like we've got Donna, Judy, Ashley, Linda, myself. Is that everybody then?
We're missing Ellen.
We're missing Ellen. Okay. Hi, Ashley.
Hi, John. Hi, Don. Hi, Judy. Like it's romper room.
I see Miss Mary Ellen. And
Yes.
And the weather today is cloudy.
So the fog was insane going over 17. I
Oh,
think that
dear.
was part of
Wow.
the problem.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Do you always take 17, John?
No, I take Waze.
Oh,
Yeah.
Not on the public. We're not on the public portion of this yet, but I'm not so happy with Waze right now.
No, I take Waze too, but I still don't go over 17. Never went here. Buddy.
Yeah, I agree. I thought I left early enough that I miss it. And
One
last time.
is better.
Yeah.
No, I did have good luck with it on Saturday, I will say, but we left a little later. We left about this time and 17 was clear and fine and no traffic and no fog. So
But you were going north?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Saturday.
Maybe we'll give Ellen another minute or two. We haven't heard whether or not she's joining, right? We would assume she's
I
joining.
didn't send an email out either way when I sent the
Okay.
agenda out last week, and
Okay.
Leslie, Margie, and I didn't hear from her one way or another.
Okay.
We do have a quorum.
We
Yeah.
do, so we could get started if you like, and then she can jump in.
Okay. Sure. Then let's call the meeting to order at 9:33, and we'll do a roll call.
Yes, Linda Calafiore,
Present?
Donna Jett,
Present.
John Mysek,
Present.
Judy Refuerzo,
Here.
and Ellen Martin.
Great. Any announcements from commissioners?
I only have one. I called the police department to ask if you can put a political sign in your front yard. And the sign that I was asking about is not local. It would be a county sign, you know, for someone running for a county seat. And they said, yes, it is legal. So I was interested to find out if it was legal, but I think with the freedom of speech, they have to allow it. So just to throw it out, the police department said it's okay.
Yeah, according to the law, if those signs are on private property, then they are legal. So you can put whatever political signs you want up in your yard during the election time. If it's on public property, so if you went and staked a sign in the middle of Devendorf Park, it would get removed and it would be illegal.
Yeah.
Public property is not okay, but the public right of way, you see those signs in the middle of medians and things like that. Those will get taken down. But yes, your front yard, all good.
Any other comments from commissioners? Comments from staff?
We are, as you all know, in the thick of event season. If you are able and willing, please let Margie and Leslie know if you're able to work the events coming up. You can see behind me, we're already working on decorations and getting ready for everything, especially with the pumpkin roll and the Halloween parade coming up in a couple weeks. All hands on deck, so please let them know if you'll be available to volunteer. And then of course we've got Veterans Day after that, home crafters, 0 dark 30 in the morning, and then tree lighting, menorah lighting after that. So that'll bring us to the end of event season. But if you are available, we would appreciate any help you can offer. And that's what I have for right now.
I don't see any public on this call, but I guess Sebastian is. Any public comments that are not on the agenda? On items not on the agenda? Nope.
Oh, I don't see anybody else.
Cruising right through. All right. Next order is receive after action reports for the Carmel High School Homecoming Parade, Sandcastle Contest, and Community Connection Day.
Hi, I'm going to go ahead and report on those. The Carmel High School Homecoming Parade actually was very well attended, and we changed the routing where they started inside the park, and then they went down and back up and around. And that seemed to work very, very well. The students were a little bit, I think, more protected because they just all go over to Bruno's afterwards. So they only had to cross Nipro, one times. And then they used golf carts with that. And that worked out actually very, very well for their floats. The Sandcastle Contest, it was a beautiful day. We had a lot of groups. I think we had 34 entries. Everybody had a great time. All the kids enjoyed it, all the adults. The judges were stuffed to the gills with food. And one of the judges said, "How much food do we have to eat?" So that was good. And then the Community Connection Day was very well attended by our community organizations. I think it was a little bit slow that day at the farmers market and in the park, but all the groups reported that they really enjoyed the event, that they were able to network with one another, and a lot of people did sign up new members or volunteers. The thing that with that one, we might consider a Saturday next time and do a little extra advertising for that event. Donna was there. So basically, that's all I have to report on those.
That's great. Everything's going pretty well, which is.
I thought the homecoming parade was fantastic. It was really fun to see the kids, and there was a great turnout. And it was quick. I mean, I feel like we didn't shut the streets down very long, but it was great to work through it. So congrats on all the effort there, and it was well received.
Yeah, the Connection Day, Margie did a fantastic job. Really, hats off. And there were organizations, even like ours, the one I belong to, that no one ever heard of. So there was interest in all the organizations just knowing that they existed and they were in the community. So I think Margie's idea of a Saturday, because people do work during the day, volunteers too, many. So I think it was a great event. Thank you, Margie. She accommodated everybody, worried about people and too much sun, and it was wonderful. Thanks.
So I was just going to say that I think most of you know that I came home from my Europe extravaganza and had COVID. So I've been a little out of touch. Yeah, and I was sorry to miss that community connection because it was the height of my hibernation in the house. But yes, I think we should do that annually. Saturday sounds like a good idea. And maybe we can think of it in terms of a certain day of the year, the third, whatever. Saturday, because I'm sorry to miss that event because we've talked about it for a long time, and I think it's just really valuable. Thank you.
And I will second that. And I didn't realize that, Linda, but I came home from New York and had COVID, so I was sequestered too. So I missed everything.
Well, I'm glad you two look like you're doing better. So I'm glad. Good. So you're not the only people I've heard of lately. It's coming back. Any other comments before we move on to the next? Next item, approval of the minutes for the September 13th regular meeting, which I wasn't able to attend, so I'm not going to be able to.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I second it.
Roll call is Donna Jett.
Yes.
Linda Calafiore.
Can I vote if I wasn't at the meeting?
No,
Ashley's shaking her head. Okay, no, okay.
Then we'll have to, because
we'll bring them back next meeting. We'll continue.
Yeah, we'll have to continue them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Because if John can't vote, then there's just two of you. So yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's hold that back. We'll put that on the agenda for next month. Receive an update on the farmers market and discuss.
We will have our third Thursday. So a lot of us next week. Third Thursday has been incredibly interesting in that the audience that we seem to have built up is young families, which I think we kind of went into this blindly, just thinking people in town, something we had talked about for years, but it's really the young families who are able to bring their kids and everybody to the park, enjoy music, enjoy art, and other things going on. This third Thursday, we'll have a harvest theme. We'll be getting some advertising out about it this week. And then for those of you who have been to the market, and I'm sorry to hear so many people have had COVID, it is starting to slow down. You can feel it. You can feel that it's not as much of a tourist season now. You can feel that, we're starting to swap vendors in and out because it's fall. So it's a little less busy than it has been, but still going well. And I'm looking forward to bringing a presentation to this group in November to talk about, what we do with Third Thursday going forward, and then something to council as well. Whether or not it's something we want to continue, what the dates would look like. Again, did not anticipate that our audience would be young families, but it's fantastic. We have a lot of new people in town. Contrary to popular belief, there are children in Carmel. And it's nice that that's a group that we can serve with our events and with the market in particular. So
I wanted to ask about the serving of liquor at the September third Thursday, because I know we got a different kind of permit.
Right.
How did that work out?
So we ended up doing wine, no liquor wine. That was the direction from council. And that was sponsored by the Carmel Youth Center. So it benefited the youth center, and they partnered with our farmers market organizer to be pouring the wine. And the report out on that was the area for alcohol at that third Thursday was too large. We were expecting a bigger crowd for that, so smaller. Because again, it's turned into this thing we weren't anticipating, which is family events. What we've seen from those types of things and kind of what we were thinking about was more along the lines, I think, of the street dance, where you want a bigger venue for an alcohol area. And that's not necessarily what's been the case with the farmers market or the third Thursday. So it's good that we're kind of testing this out. It's a good option to have, but it's not the point of the event, I think. So we'll continue to refine as we go along and have a bigger report out and see how October goes. Donna.
Are you thinking of adding, like for the children, face painting or people making, not balloons, I know we don't want, but a little more activity for children now that looks
Yes.
like, where there's more, not, a little bit more child friendly and entertaining.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we are. So keeping that as a component in mind and how we build that up. Yes, definitely. Absolutely.
Tidbit is just, I've been talking to restaurateurs. It sounds like we're a little down in September, October than they expected in terms of cover. So just a heads up. And then one other thought, and I wasn't sure to address this on this portion or actually in the front end. Just thinking about the world we live in today, we do a number of events that either block off, 6th or those cross streets around the park. And I know we have different ways to protect pedestrians from vehicles. Have we ever thought, because of the use there, of putting in bollards that are things we can put in and take out?
Yeah, so that discussion has come up. The cost of the bollards is a lot. We do have the vehicle stopping barricades. It takes a number of public works staff to deploy those. What I would like to see is the Park Plaza project come to fruition, where the bollards are in place.
Yes.
Where it's something stationary, and we have designated this spot as an event space, and those bollards are there. We can remove them if we needed to for some reason, but really the bollards are there. That would be the most logical thing going forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just think it's one of those things where they cost a lot now, but it's going to cost a lot more if something ever happened. So I think we should just make sure we're ahead of that and think intelligently about the world we're in. And hopefully, if we need to make a recommendation or however our group, if we wanted to put it up and potentially come up with something that we could present to council, I'd be interested in following through on something there.
Yeah, we have it as part of our strategic plan to keep talking about the Park Plaza project. It's also on the library strategic plan, and the library, we are currently working on engaging somebody to build us a master plan. And I would like whoever does that to consider this as part of it. So it would be something, again, where both of my hats finally combine and hopefully build some power, and we talk about that. And I'm sure, and I know the council's thinking about downtown master plans and potentially other street closures, but I really feel passionate about this, having done so many events in the park with all of you, and being right across the street with the library and seeing families cross back and forth and having the farmers market here, that this would be a really great project.
Agreed. Linda?
Oh, I just wanted to ask an explanation of the barrier you're speaking of, because I'm not familiar with that term. So what are we talking about?
Bollards, they're like the big cylindrical things that you see, that you'll see like 3 or 4 of them blocking a street so cars can't get through. Sometimes they're made of cement, sometimes they're shiny.
And why would that be different than the barriers that we have? I'm confused what it accomplishes.
Right now, we do have the vehicle stopping barricades. You see those, they're metal, they're green metal. If you see those ones out, they're usually deployed at the foot of Ocean and Monteverde and the top of Ocean and Unibro during car week to prevent anybody who's, hit the gas too hard or can't brake Either way they're going from barricading in, they're supposed to stop them, the vehicle stopping barricades, from ramming into any of the crowds. Typically, we use the water barricades unfilled or A-frames to block off streets. Those don't really offer protection. We also used other vehicles to block streets, like the farmers market trailer or some of the vendor trucks at the farmers market. Beckman's used to park at one end of the street. So that's how that's different.
Thank you.
Different level of
and I'm not a security professional, but I think we have a level of protection at this point. I think the idea would be, and there are removable bollards where all you'd see if they weren't in place in the street would be maybe a metal little, foot in diameter cover. And then in the event of a special event, you put up 3 of them and they block off the entrance to the street and they'd be impassable. And I feel like those are, if I don't know what percentage we're at today in terms of secure, but I feel like those are, a much further step ahead to the extent we went that direction.
Right. They have them in front of Target. They have them in front of some stores.
Yeah.
Too, that you can't drive your car there. My carpet place, he has them in front of his front door. So you can drive a car through it. And they're just big round posts that sit in the ground, but they can be removed with a plate put there.
Right, and they can get really fancy so that it's like a garage door where they sink back down into the ground and they're mechanical, or like John says, you can pick them up and remove them. They lock. You see bike locks on them sometimes. Right. So yes, definitely inspiration and definitely an ongoing conversation.
I guess I'd just like to keep that on the in front of us. So to the extent it needs to be a formal agenda item or something, I think it'd be great to keep this conversation going.
And I'd like to ask, what happened to Julia's? Are they gone now from the farmer's market?
They've had some other projects going on. They're not gone from the farmer's market. They'll be back.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
Anything else on the farmer's market or related there? All right. Receive updates on the 2022 special events calendar for the city of Carmel-by-the-Sea and potential new events and discuss.
So as I mentioned at the start of this meeting, we have new meetings coming up, or new events coming up. So pumpkin rolls on the 29th. After that, the Forest Theater Guild's doing Hocus Pocus in the Park, which the city has sponsored. And I think that should be pretty fun. Halloween parade and then candy giveaway. So we're starting people off with their trick-or-treating is on Monday, October 31st. And then the Veterans Day on November 11th in Devendorf Park, Home Crafters Marketplace, that Saturday before Thanksgiving. And then, of course, Friday, December 2nd, the holiday celebration in Devendorf Park. So we're not adding anything at this point in time to the regular slate of events until the end of the year. I think we should have a good time this fall. With what we've got planned. Again, if you have any capacity to help us do decorating or volunteer, let me know. I know that there's a number of you who have come out and helped us decorate with the holiday decorations in the park, because there's a quick turnaround there after the holidays, especially with that Thanksgiving week that kind of slows things down. We'll be getting lights and things like that up. So let us know. That's always a huge help. But I'm looking forward to our events this year. Pumpkin roll's pretty dialed in at this point. Margie's still nailing down the details for the parade. More people are trickling in for all of the emails she's been sending out for their participation. So she's building our lineup. We do have more walkers this year, which is great. Less worry about vehicles going rogue, John, when we think about that as part of the parade. And I think there's some good energy around that in terms of people community groups and businesses who want to participate in that. So I think we're going to have a great parade this year. And we're starting to build that lineup to another one that takes some time for tree lighting, looking at how we're building that program and that event. So
what time are we doing? What time is a pumpkin roll going to start this year?
Margie, I'll yield to you because I've got times all mixed up in my head.
Yeah, we'll start at 2 o'clock, 2 to 4. And then families can go either have a little snack and then head to the park for the movie. I am trying to arrange for the Police Officers Association to go ahead and give away popcorn and cotton candy during the movie. We have some fun stuff planned for that, and we've made some great decorations. So that'll be a lot of fun. We will be decorating the morning of the pumpkin roll. So if you guys want to come and help carry stuff out, place it, kind of make sure that everything looks good, that would be great. At 10 o'clock, staff will have to go up to the rolling course to get that all situated. The dumpster will be coming in at noon. So we have all of Public Works crew putting up fencing, orange netting, and all of the stuff that goes along with that. That's kind of a heavy lifting time, placing hay bales and trying to make sure that no pumpkins escape. So definitely volunteers for that. Let me know. The movie is pretty much all the Forest Theater Guild. And then the parade, again, it's like herding cats, but I have told those that are riding in vehicles that I have vehicles, but I need drivers. So, and right now I can kind of give you a little bit of a head count that you are the only 3/4 full commission that will be participating. So you guys will get 1 car, but we only have 2 members from the HRB, 1 member from the HML board, and then we have 2 members from the Planning Commission. 1 will be riding a bike, and then the other will be with the rest of the commissioners in the Laverne. So, and that is all the participation other than the council members. So,
yeah. And this is typical of, and we've been seeing a lot of the board members and commission members want to actually watch the parade, which I love, or they plan to participate with their families and walk along, and they've got other plans. So,
and they work, and it's a Monday, so that might have something to do with it too.
Yeah, could be. So, so yeah, that's events. Let us know if you're available to help out with decorating or anything else like that.
When were you decorating for Christmas?
We'll be doing it we'll be starting probably the first week of November, starting to pull down the Halloween decorations, get the Halloween lights packed up, and then the following week after that, so the first week the week of Halloween, as soon as that is done, pull down those decorations. And so it's the week of the 6th. We'll start to work on getting lights set up as soon as we can, because it takes some time. We do more lights than we around trees and things like that, and it takes some time for us to get those up and around before we can put those decorations up. So any help that you can provide, we would appreciate it.
Is that family donating or loaning the giant talking plant and stuff this year?
No, but we have some other plans. Do not worry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, that family has moved to Washington.
Oh,
so they're
bummer.
But yes, I think that my background should be an indication of larger things to come.
Okay, good.
Okay, so decorating.
Margie's been hard at work.
Decorating for Christmas, is there a specific day?
We'll send out an email to all of you.
Okay.
ASAP. Yeah.
Okay, because we have a meeting on the 8th, so okay.
We've done that in the past where we've had the meeting and then we've gone and met up in the park afterwards, and that's worked very well. So. And
that's also election day.
It is election day.
Okay. So there's a lot happening that day.
There is a lot happening that day. So we'll work on sending an email out to you with regards to decorating for the holidays once the Halloween decorations come down.
Thank you.
You could put me down for decorating the park for the pumpkin roll, but I will only decorate the park for the pumpkin roll.
Thank you, Linda.
I was going to ask if for during the pumpkin roll 2 to 4, what would we be doing? Because I was there a few years ago and you had enough staff that it didn't seem
You're
like
going to roll pumpkins.
Right. That's the pumpkin roll is a tricky one because it's a heavy lifting event. So it is, you're right, Donna. It is city staff that need to be lifting those barricades and things like that. So
it wasn't much to do. I would have been able to help, but.
Right. And we're going to focus again on decorating the park in the morning. So anybody that can help do that decorating before the event starts, that would be appreciated.
I can give you a little more information too. On the pumpkin roll, the River Dads will be at the top of the course and they will be assisting the kids in choosing a pumpkin, getting them out onto the course and then off of the course. They've done that in the past for us. And the Carmel Host Lions Club will be in the park assisting children in placing stickers on pumpkins. We don't let them carve, but they can put stickers on a pumpkin and take those away. We also have Rusty Croft, who is actually a professional sandcastle builder, but he has also carved pumpkins for us in the past, and he will be carving up a giant pumpkin in the park too around 2 o'clock. So all of that will be happening during the pumpkin roll, so families can go out and roll a pumpkin, go back, put some stickers on a pumpkin, and watch the carving, have a little snack, and then wait for the movie.
Great. Thank you. Final item on here, or I guess last one in this section, is consider if and when to return to in-person community activity commission meetings and provide direction to staff.
So this item is a standing item on our agenda now. As of this point in time, if we were to return to in-person meetings in the council chamber, we would be doing hybrid meetings, just like the council is doing. So people would be able to Zoom in, but they would also be able to come into the chamber in person. We would need to wear masks as part of that meeting. I understand from the city clerk that the council will be considering changing some of those rules around the requirements for masks and showing vaccination cards depending on the transmission rates in our county. The council will be considering this and talking about this at the November council meeting. So until such time as they make a decision regarding those rules of conduct for meetings with vaccine cards and mask wearing, we're at status quo. So I would recommend that this commission postpone any decision-making until the November meeting, until the council has this discussion.
Linda?
The council meets a week before we do.
They do.
So I'd like to suggest if the council lifts the mask requirement for November, could we decide to hold our meeting in the council chambers?
You can decide to hold the mask requirement, as I understand it, is going to be tied into whatever the transmission rate is for Monterey County. So the council will be making probably some sort of decision with regards to whether or not they move forward with that, whether or not they want to change those masking rules to say, okay, if it's high transmission rates and we've got commissions that are meeting in person, then they have to wear masks. But if the transmission rate is low, then they don't have to wear masks if they've decided to make that move to in-person meetings. Does that make sense? But they haven't even gotten there yet. So they have to make that determination in November. We could decide to move to in-person meetings for the November meeting. Regardless.
Well, I guess I'd like to say, yes, I think it's about time that we start meeting in person. So I'm willing to gamble that the mask requirement is going to be coming off soon. Maybe I'm being overly optimistic.
Well, if it is, once it comes up, then we could do a vote online or something to do not wear a mask, or they could announce that it's optional, because we can't really do anything until the city decides.
Right. As it stands right now, we would all, like, if you as it stands right now, if you vote to meet in person, the regulations right now would stipulate that masks would be worn and vaccination status would be required to be shown. So we're still kind of in limbo is the point. The council's going to be making some moves in terms of changing the rules of conduct. They have not done so yet.
So probably the earliest that we would know, I mean, really is December. I mean, because even once they make a vote, they probably have some things they have to go through and change, right? So
my understanding is we should know at that November meeting what our regulations would be. So we would be able to make a decision in November.
okay.
So I would say sit tight until that November meeting, and then we can move for changing things up for that December meeting.
Now,
For the December meeting, yeah.
if they have a vaccination requirement too, I just had my number 5 shot last week. So, you know, they had to use another piece of paper. So I've got all 5 of them because I saw no harm in getting it when I saw it was available. But then they'd have to come up with a protocol to prove, we'd have to prove the city staff and any visitors. So they'd have to have a secure building to have somebody checking for vaccinations also.
And I can't get a booster. You can't get a booster until 3 months after you've had COVID.
Right.
So
Thank you for researching that.
Right.
yeah,
And
you have to wait 3 months.
Yeah. So right now, as it stands, that is required. So I recommend that we wait until the November meeting until they figure out how they're changing those rules of conduct and what the requirements will be for those in-person meetings. Mm-hmm.
I'm fine waiting until November, and then hopefully we can figure this out for December.
Yes.
Yeah.
Be advisable.
Okay. So I guess finally, any future agenda items that people would like to see?
I just have one question this time. I think, in my experience, we've really, with new leadership with Ashley and Margie and Leslie, we've sort of added a lot to the what we do as a committee, and we're working on a strategic plan. I don't see any more activities planned coming up new activities by the Activities Commission. So I don't know if if Ashley has plans, but it looks like we've done a great job in helping fill up the park, the farmers market. So I don't know that they plan or think about another activities like one that we do all the time, like home crafters or something like that.
Yeah, well, I think the Community Connection Day, as we spoke about, will become a recurring event, whether it's once a year or twice a year. I think that was well received, and it's something that was on the council strategic plan as well as our strategic plan. We'll probably do a review of our strategic plan in the next month or two. We have, as you said, Donna, we've made good headway in terms of that, but we want to think thoughtfully about how and when we add events. The springtime is a good time for that. Right now I've been working with the Public Works Department on something for Earth Day. They're spearheading that, and we're lending them our event planning expertise. So we want to do this thing and replicate this model, and it's stuff that you all know, how many folding tables, how many, how soon are you getting the word out, that type of thing. So I think it's important to recognize not only us coming up with events, but supporting our department partners and what they're doing in terms of their initiatives and getting those added onto our calendar. I know Earth Day in particular was something that this commission had been asking about if we were going to do something for Earth Day. And so the Public Works Department has, and environmental compliance in particular, been wanting to do something with that and take the lead on it, which is why we are supporting them in that. So I'll come up with a report out on our strategic plan and where we are and some of the things I think we can work on in the future with our other community groups in terms of events and planning. And because we have a lot of stuff going on in Carmel in general on the regular. Halloween weekend alone is absolutely packed with all kinds of things happening in the village alone, not to mention the entire peninsula. So I I think we've got a lot of good things, especially coming out of COVID happening here. So that we'll add that to a future agenda item to discuss, Donna. Thank you.
All right. If there's nothing else, we can adjourn. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.